Ho, ho, ho. Merry early Christmas. Merry early Christmas to us Dolphin fans and to the Cowboys fans because, boy, do we have a crazy awesome matchup going on today, 425 on Fox. You guys know what's going on. Here's your Dolphins pregame show, Dolphins Cowboys today. Huge, huge matchup. But before we get into that, let me put on some lights. A little dark in here. Let's see. There we go. All right. Let's get this show on the road. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Bad Calls, Balls, and Brawls. It's your host, 305 Miss Claus, and I am excited to hang out with you guys on Christmas Eve, Noche Buena, on the eve of a huge, huge, huge game for our Dolphins. That it's a must-win, right? Obviously, we beat the Jets last week. We shut them out. We didn't even beat them. We shut them out 30-0. And we got to win. We need to win. We win, we're in. So we want to do it today. What better day to do it than Christmas Eve? So big, big game today. But before we get into that, let's talk about last week. We had the Jets. We already beat the Jets on Black Friday. And I thought the Jets were going to come to town hungry, right? Not that they had anything really going. Obviously, their playoff hopes were kind of dwindling out already. But I thought they were going to come and put up a fight. And there was just no fight whatsoever. There was no offensive line, but there was no fight. And that game was the confidence booster. Not that, it's against the Jets, but it's still a division rival that we really needed to get kickstart this game against Dallas this week. So before we get into the game, let's talk about a few things that has happened, right? Some of the cards are falling to our place. Some of them are not. Obviously, we want to – it would be wonderful going into the playoffs as the number one seed in the AFC. Is it going to happen? It's going to be tough. You look at the rest of our schedule. We have Dallas today, home. Then next week, we play in Baltimore. And you guys remember last year, we came back. We had the miracle in Baltimore. And Baltimore is a different team than they were last year. So that's going to be very, very tough. They're one of the best teams in the league. If you ask the pros, a lot of them even have them projected to go into the Super Bowl. And then after that, the last game of the season, we play Buffalo here. So we have the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL. And we know we're going to the playoffs, right? But we're going to see where we place. And we want those home games. We play excellent at home. So hoping that we finish strong. And let's start that today. Eric, hello, Eric. Happy early Merry Christmas. Noche Buena to everybody who celebrates. Happy late Hanukkah. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So today's matchup, obviously, you guys know we win today. We win and we're in. We have one of the best teams that we've had in the last 20 years. I don't need to go over the statistics. You guys know what's happening. You're seeing every Sunday in and out. Tua's looking fantastic. He's connecting with Tyreek. Our defense is great. Vic Fangio has adapted well. Mike McDaniel, for the most parts, calling great plays. And players have stepped up when needed. You know, obviously, we've had some really bad injuries this year. Jalen Phillips, by not being out there, you know, is devastating. But we've had other players on defense, you know, show up when needed. Bradley Chubb's had great games. Christian Wilkins, Sealer, Xavier Howard. So it seems like all the pieces are falling into play. With that, we've had some injuries. I just mentioned Jalen Phillips. But Tyreek at this point right now, we don't know if Tyreek's going to play. If you were to say, Ash, is Tyreek playing? It's a twofold, right? Like, obviously, this is a big game. We want to, get the win in today. Or do we want to save Tyreek for the playoffs? From what I'm hearing, Drew Rosenhaus reported that he's been practicing all week. He's had some great practices. So it's sounding like he is projected to play this week. But we really don't know how injured his ankle is. So we know that Tyreek, if he's able to, he will, and he's not going to push it if he can't. So that'll be a decision that we'll find out within the next few hours. But I said before, we have one of the best teams that we've had in like 20 years. The matchup today, both teams right now are 10-4. On paper, it's a pretty even matchup, right? Dak, Tua, Micah Parsons, Tyreek. I mean, we're comparing apples and apples here, right? It's a very, very tight matchup that we have. Eric, thank you. Congratulations to your and Lou engagements. Yes, it's almost been 3 weeks. It feels like it's been long. I feel like I've been engaged to Lou for 3 years, but it's still very new. So thank you so much. We're very excited for our first engaged Christmas together. But yeah, no, today's matchup, Both teams are 10-4. We have the number one offense in the league. We're in the top 5 for the defense, and Dallas isn't far behind those numbers as well. This is where it gets a little interesting now. We are 0-3 against teams with winning records. Obviously, 3 of our 4 losses comes from the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Bills, and then the Titans, but we won't talk about that one. But 3 of our losses comes from winning teams. Dallas is a winning team, and Dallas is 0-4 on the road. So something's going to break here, right? Like, either we're going to beat a really good team today, or Dallas is going to continue to prove that they just don't play well on the road. So it's interesting to see how that's going to play out. Some keys to the victory, how I think that this is how we need to win this game. Obviously, we need to stop Dak. We need to stop Micah as best as we can. That's just plain football, right? That's like X's and O's. Stop the quarterback, stop Micah Parsons. They're excellent football players. I said this earlier in the week. I was grateful to be on Miss Finn's show this week. She asked, what are the keys? Sanders, and I've said this over, Sanders needs to be perfect, right? Like, we've seen how kickers, when they don't perform well, can affect the outcome of the game. We've seen this through Sanders the past few years. Obviously, the Chargers and, other teams have had their issues with kickers as well, but Sanders is not a bad player. So in a matchup like this against a good team, Sanders needs to be perfect. So that's a huge thing. Let's get to 3-3 against winning teams and take the number 1 seed. So that would be perfect. In a perfect world, right? If we can win the next 3 games and beat these winning teams, these teams that are hungry, these teams that are excellent, that would be perfect. It's going to be tough, though. I ideally could see us winning 2 out of the 3. Which 2? I don't know, right? Like, I feel like Dallas is more beatable than Baltimore this year, and I feel like the Bills are always the Bills, and despite their up and down season, they're still the Bills, and they're still gonna show up really, really, really tough last week. So 3-3 would be perfect and take the number 1 seed, but it's gonna be very, 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 very tough. Not impossible, right? It's a Christmas season, Christmas miracles, but I don't know if I see it happening. But I would love to see it happen. But I would love to win today. As you guys probably remember, we lost our Christmas Day game last year against Green Bay. So hopefully the Grinch doesn't come back today and we take a win. But yeah, so Sanders has to go perfect, right? This is going to be a close game. I don't see it going either way. I don't see a 30-10. I don't see a 40-17. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be back to back to back to back to back. And I think those extra 3 points here and there are going to make the difference. Second key of the game, Vic Fangio needs to do what he does best and really, really, really execute strong defensive plays. Put a lot of pressure on Dak. Cause Dak to feel the pressure and to make silly plays, and for us to capitalize on that too, right? So if we can really get there, if Bradley Chubb can constantly go after Dak, and our men in the backfield take advantage of that, I feel like that's going to be really helpful. And 3, Coach McDaniel. Actually, I'm going to give you 4. Coach McDaniel, he needs to, first of all, obviously have very, very smart play calling, but he also needs to adapt, right? If what he's going into the first and second half seems to be just by getting by, we need to change that. We obviously need to adapt, and don't be scared to change, because Dallas is a team that every play is going to matter, every yard's going to matter, and Coach can't be content going into this game, and he needs to realize that, hey, you need to make those adjustments as soon as you can to make sure that we're playing the best football possible. And of course, the 4th one is Tua, right? We know that he's had a great, amazing, fantastic year. He's in talks of being the MVP of the year. We've heard all that. He obviously, if Tyreek plays, it has to be a strong Tyreek Tua game, but also don't be scared to use other weapons like Waddle. Waddle shines when he gets the opportunity, and then use Braxton, right? We all fell in love with Braxton. Again, we saw him on Hard Knocks. It was a great episode. But use Braxton. And of course, Mostert's there. Devon John's there. So the big thing is really, really using your weapons smart and making sure that, hey, if it's not working, adjust the game plan. Another in the chat, my cousin Mike. Hey, cuz, Merry Christmas. Good luck. Beat the Cowboys for us Birds fam. Cuz, Merry Christmas. Sending you and the family love. And I know, man, it would be, I know that, you guys with the Cowboys and everything and all of that going on in the NFC, we need to beat them too. Just as bad as you guys want us to beat them, we need to beat them too. So challenge accepted, and we will definitely do our best to hopefully beat the Cowgirls today. But yeah, no, as you guys know, we're 0-3 against teams with winning records, but that can all change. I'm tired of hearing that narrative because that's not really who we are. We're better than that. I mean, it's a good league this year, right? Like we're seeing talent all around, and this is the day. Christmas Eve is the day where we turn that around and we get that win. So guys, as I get into this, give me your score predictions. Obviously, we have a 4:25 game today on Fox, national game. What are we thinking? I'm thinking it's going to be a really tough game. I could see it not necessarily being a high scoring game, kind of conservative. Obviously, we have some key players out. Dallas is fighting with their own injuries as well. So I feel like it's going to be 27-23 Miami. That's kind of where I'm thinking. Kind of not too low scoring, not up there in the 30s, 40s, but like a 27-24 is what I'm thinking, which obviously I hate those type of games because, you're nail biting down to the second. But I think it's going to be like that. We know Cowboy Nation travels very, very well. They're known as America's team. They're going to show up. It's Christmas Eve. They want to be in beautiful sunny. Well, I can't really say it's sunny. I'm going to give you a weather report in a second. But Dallas Cowboys has amazing travel groups that, I'm basing some of my travel models on, and they're going to show up in numbers. So they're going to be loud. They're going to be proud. They're a great team this year. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. They're going to be loud when we're on offense. They're going to be quiet when they're on off. I mean, it's going to be a tough one. Let's see what we have. We have a prediction from Lou from Miami. Dolphins 33, Cowgirls 27. Okay, so you're kind of in the same range as me, like a 27-30, low 30 thing, 33-27 Dolphins over the Cowgirls. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I want to just recap just a little bit of something very, very, very special that happened last week. Not talking about the engagement. That was like old news now. That was like 2 weeks ago. I'm talking about last week. Last week, Lou and I had a very, very awesome weekend in the sense that, yes, his family threw us a beautiful engagement brunch. So we're starting to get into the vibe of, wedding and engagement and stuff. But after that, we took a trip to Davie to perform. And my favorite Dolphin player, Raheem Mostert, had an amazing toy drive for let me take that down. Raheem Mostert had an amazing toy drive at Perform, where he collected over 100 toys for children in need in the South Florida area. Now, I was super excited to be able to, attend, obviously, to meet my favorite football player, but he's one of those type of guys where he's first of all, he's had one of the best years of his career. But second of all, he talks the talk and walks the walk. You see this guy constantly doing things, not only for our South Florida community, but also for the Volusia community as well, where he's from New Smyrna Beach. So I was super excited to get the opportunity to just bring some toys and to meet him and to see what, initiatives he's doing for Christmas. A little backstory on that. I've met so many people in my life who have had said, so-and-so is my favorite player. Let's use Derek Jeter, right? Derek Jeter is my favorite baseball player, and I met him, and he was a jerk. Or even myself, I met my favorite baseball player when I was like 7, Chuck Knobloch, and he was a jerk. And I obviously stopped being a Yankee fan because of him. So I was nervous because I didn't want my image of Raheem Mostert to ever change, right? Like I wanted him to be like, hey, he's my favorite Dolphin player. So long story short, first of all, when we walked in, Mostert was right there. He grabbed the toys, gave you a hug. The nicest guy. He had his kids there, his 3 beautiful sons, his beautiful wife. And he really, you could tell how big of a heart he has. And yes, he's having an amazing year. And he, broke an amazing record that we'll talk about in a second. But he is such a down-to-earth, sincere Florida boy. And I was just so excited and happy to support him and to meet him. On top of that, I have a Mostert jersey. You rarely see me in jerseys, right? I have my own little 305 Sports Babe outfits. I have very few jerseys. I have I have Jason Taylor, Dan Marino. I have Kiko Alonso. I have Udonis Haslam. Just a few jerseys here and there. I used to be a jersey girl. I kind of didn't dwindle down. But for my birthday this year, I bought myself a Mostert jersey, right? And interestingly enough, you can't just go on Fanatics and get a Mostert jersey. You have to get it customized. He's not like one of those players where it's a Hill or a Waddle or Tua or Xavier Howard. So I had to get it customized. So I had to make sure I spelt it right, which I did. And so I wore the jersey to his toy drive. And I I was like walking around and I'm like, should I ask him to sign it? Because once you get a jersey signed, actually no, some of you guys do this. If I was to get a jersey signed like I did, I would never wear it ever in my life again, because that's like, no, we hug and this and that, it sweats the sun. So I got the jersey signed by Raheem Mostert. There's a picture on my social media of him like signing it, and he goes, I'm gonna sign it on the one. I said, sure. Like, so first of all, if you ever get anything Raheem Mostert with the numbers, if it's on a 3, it's not authentic. He told me that when he signs stuff, it's always on the number 1. I also just learned not too long ago, thanks to Josh Mozart and his team, that he wears 31 because there's 32 teams in the league, and he only needed one to believe in him. So that's why he's 31. So if you have anything Raheem Mostert, make sure it's signed on the 1 because it's official. Then as you walk in, his father-in-law gave everybody raffle tickets, right? So if you brought like 5 toys, I think we brought like 5 or 6, you got 5 or 6 raffle tickets. So we got like 5 raffle tickets, and he said there will be a drawing at the end for a signed Raheem Mostert game-worn glove. I'm like, oh, that's cool. All right. So we stayed. We got there at like 3. The event was ending at 4, so we stayed. We had our friends there. Fan of the year Chris was there. Mama Barker. Mirna was there. Bob was there. It was just a good vibe. We're hanging out, eating, chilling. Just good times, right? Supporting good cause. Robert, sorry, I'm late. Merry Christmas from the UK. Is it Christmas there yet? Not yet, but you're closer to Christmas than I am. I know Santa gets to the UK before he gets to America, so leave some toys for us. Merry Christmas. So, yeah, so Mostert gave everybody tickets as long as you brought something for Christmas for his toy drive. So I brought 5 toys. I got 5 tickets. So we stayed. And at the end, he had this wheel, and he went in, and he pulled, and you wrote your name on the back. And I don't want to say I never win anything, because I usually would say that, but like, you guys remember, it was like 2 years ago, Lou and I won a trip to Chicago from Bally Sports. So I have some luck in my life, right? Like, there's some type of chance. So he went in the wheel and pulled my name out, and he was like, Ashley S. I said, Ashley S? That's me. I said, and I got nervous for some reason. And so I actually won his signed game-worn gloves. And I'm sure there were some touchdowns made. Some touchdowns happened because obviously he's a touchdown beast this year. So that was a very, 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 very good day in my life that, we supported a cause, and I got tons of cool things from my favorite football player. So that was Saturday. On Sunday, who would have thought the next day Raheem Mostert was going to break the most touchdowns in a single season record that has been up for like 4 decades actually. Ricky Williams held the record. Before that was Mark Clayton, and Raheem goes and shatters that record. So it's amazing. And to know that there's still 3 more games left in the season, like, goodbye record, right? So sorry, Ricky Williams. Sorry, Mark Clayton. There's a new sheriff in town. No, I'm a huge fan, so I support it. But I'm really excited to see what number he actually ends up landing, because he's just doing great. Also, fun fact, Raheem Mostert has obviously been in the league. He's 31 years old. He's played for many, many teams. He played against Dallas 4 times in his life. He has never scored a touchdown against the Cowboys. So that's changing as well, too. So there's a lot of good things happening down here in Miami. So we were there, right? He had 2 touchdowns last game against the Jets. So he broke the record, and then he got another one. So another thing I wanted to share with you guys, at the Hard Rock, they don't really have many things. So, like, let's say you go to the Hard Rock and they play against the Chargers, and you want to get like something that says like, oh, Dolphins, Chargers. There's not many things that they have that. You get like a program, but they had this game pin. So this game pin we played against the Jets December 17, 2023. So this pin obviously commemorates the day we swept the Jets. And also the day that Raheem Mostert broke the single season touchdown record in franchise history that was over 4 decades old. So very, very exciting for that. So we'll see, right? It's exciting. It's a great time to be a Dolphins fan. It's nervous, right? Because as I mentioned, I don't want to keep mentioning it, but I'm going to say it again. We've been struggling against good teams. So how does that, if we're not going to continue to struggle against good teams, we're going to break that, right? It's going to start today. But it also needs to be broken in the playoffs, because we know that the playoffs, there's going to be really, really, really good teams as well. So we have to start. There has to be a point where we start beating really, really good teams, and that's going to be today. So we'll see. The weather is it's not nasty out. Let me rephrase that. It's not nasty in the sense that it's raining. It's just not sunny South Florida. I'm looking out the window. It's cloudy, right? And it's warm. So it's perfect football weather, right? There's no wind. It's like a day, right? It's like if the Dallas fans came here for a sunny weekend in Florida, you're not getting that, right? It's like murky out. Yesterday it rained. So does that really affect game time? No, you're not going to get rain. They're calling for some rain tomorrow, but it's perfect football weather. There's not going to be any extra, rain, wind going on. That it's perfect for that as well. But no, it's a must win. We know we win or in. We want those home playoff games. We play well at the Hard Rock. We don't want to be traveling for these playoff games. We deserve a home playoff game. We deserve numerous home playoff games. And we're ready for it. So this is the time. We have a lot of you guys have been fans for very, very long. Some of you, haven't seen a team like this in a very, very long time. And I know this is probably the best season I've ever seen being a Dolphins fan for, the kind of short amount compared to some of the other guys. So I'm very, very excited to see how this all plays out today. But I'm nervous, right? I don't think any Dolphin fan is going to this game today thinking this is going to be a walk in the park. Dak can show up and have a great game. Micah Parsons, or, we can go and Tua can this, that, Raheem 5-6, whatever. So it's not going to be easy. I think Dallas feels the same way about us. Dallas knows we're a good team as well. So it's all going to come down to which team makes the least mistakes and which team capitalizes on that as well. So let's see, Robert. Every time we play good teams, we've gotten better. And this good team is playing at the Rock, so the stars are lining. That's kind of how I'm feeling too, right? Like I think our first loss this year, if I'm not mistaken, was against the Bills. And we've come a long way since that loss. Then after that, we had the Eagles, which obviously was a very, very hard matchup at Lincoln Field. And then we played the Chiefs in Germany, right? So we have gotten better. And those are very winnable games. When you look, we didn't play terrible, but those were winnable games. So I do agree. And then we just don't talk about the Tennessee one. The only thing I remember that day is that I got engaged. I don't even remember it was a football game, right? So let's just scratch that one off the surface and pretend like that never even happened. But you're right. I mean, this is the day where the stars aligned and Dallas could, and even if you watch the sports reports and stuff, it's even. You're getting like 3 people saying Dallas, you're getting 3 people saying Miami, but it's gonna come down to play calling. Again, Mike McDaniel, if stars aren't aligning, change the play calling, right? Do your adjustments. Take the timeouts to make the adjustments. Tua can't call crazy timeouts. Play the game, play it well. And our defense really just needs to put a lot of pressure on Dak and cause stupid plays and make it happen. So I'm really looking forward to today. But it's going to be tough. So we will see what happens. So Eric with a prediction, 34-21 Fins. Yeah, that's close to Lou's prediction as well. Lou was around the 34 mark as well. He said 33-27, so 34-21. Yeah, I I want to say mine. Our score prediction as a whole this year, it's been like, did people really think we were going to blow up the Jets? I sure did, and I thought they were going to put up a better fight than they did last week. And then who would have thought we lost against Tennessee? So, but what I am seeing is the majority is saying like that low 30s, high 20s prediction with a touchdown or 2 difference between us and Dallas. So it's gonna be a very, 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 very interesting matchup. Traffic is already almost standstill going to the Hard Rock. People are super excited. And we'll see. There's a lot of good matchups happening today. Obviously, we have the Dolphins and the Cowboys. And then tomorrow in South Florida, our Miami Heat play the Philadelphia 76ers Christmas Day. So just good sporting events down here. So ladies or men, if you did not get your significant other or your child something for Christmas, well, maybe not your child because it's a very, very, very expensive ticket in town right now for either of those games. But there are still tickets available. And who wouldn't want to get a Noche Buena, wake up on Christmas Day to get tickets for the Heat versus 76ers or Dolphins Cowboys? I mean, those are perfect gifts, right? Like, what else could you want? They were not just talking silly games where we're playing against a team that doesn't matter, like a Commanders team or something. The NFL gods and whoever made this schedule in the beginning of the year, they planned a lot of this, right? Like, this is a huge, huge, huge Christmas Eve matchup that obviously means a lot. It's going to be very heavily viewed. So that's going to be excellent. Talking about viewing, let me just tell you something. And I tweeted about this last night. I wasn't annoyed, but it's like I have never in my life had so many subscriptions that I've started and canceled, put my credit card, taken away my credit card. Like the NFL with Peacock, HBO with Hard Knocks, Hulu, Amazon Prime, NFL. Like you guys make it so difficult to watch some of these good games. Granted, the Amazon Prime ones are fine because obviously I'm a huge Amazon girl and there's packages every day that arrives here. So I already have the Amazon Prime. Like that's fine. But the Peacock and the Hard Knocks and HBO, like you make it very, very difficult. You, meaning like the people who get these contracts, for people just to watch some good football. Obviously, we know the Bills and the Chargers game last night was on Peacock. I don't have Peacock. I have HBO. I have Amazon Prime. I have AT&T Universe. I don't have Peacock. Granted, it's $3, but it's still the principle. So it's just annoying that greed and NFL are taking advantage of these different networks. People say opportunities. I see it more as greed. I just want one package where everything is stationed there. But it's ironic that like every week I'm subscribing. I'm looking for like free subscription for HBO, and then it's like, and then I'll do it, and then you still got to put a credit card on to hold it, and then sure enough, like I forget to take off my credit card or cancel subscription, and now I have HBO for like 2 years. So it's just annoying. Robert says, if you want weather, it's 11 degrees Celsius where I live in the UK. That's around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. Ooh, that sounds cold. Ugh. Well, I know in Miami this week, it's dropping to like 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which sounds like negative Celsius. So that sounds even worse. But it's just like it's murky out today, right? It's not, it could be so much worse. We could be dealing with the extremes, the snow, this and that. I'm being bratty when I tell you it's not a pretty day, but it's fine. It's a day for football, right? We don't need perfect weather for football. We just need to win. But yeah, this network stuff, so crazy. It's just annoying. You're just subscribing to unsubscribe. And yeah, I don't know. I've been an NFL fan for a very long time, 20 years or so, but I mean, it's just annoying. So hopefully I would love just one inclusive package for everything, for preseason, for obviously HBO, its own thing. But I don't know. Talking about Hard Knocks. Oh my gosh. If you guys had to decide on a network, you have to see Hard Knocks. Whether you have to break into the system, if you are a Dolphins fan, if you are not watching Hard Knocks every week, you are missing out. I mean, you're seeing so many sides of this team, and it's such a beautiful thing. You're seeing these players on and off the field. You're seeing such a beautiful relationship between Christian Wilkins and Zach Sealer. Like, they're amazing. Then you're seeing these players and their wives, Van Ginkel, and you see Braxton last week, and then you see Jalen Phillips, that whole thing play out. And it's just so – and then Alex Engel, my gosh, his story. And, he does so much for the community and he was adopted. Like, yes, we can read about this stuff, but that's often so hidden because people just want to say, did we win? Did we lose? And to actually bring light to these players and who they are off the field is amazing. So yes, I'm loving Hard Knocks. And I like they did show the recap of the week before, but I'm watching those games. I see what's happening. I don't hear it. So it's cool to see like what they say and stuff, but I really appreciate learning who these guys are off the field and what they do. So it's something I really, really like. Lou makes a good point in the late night cable cursing. Yeah, this is another point as well. I've seen people say like, oh, Coach McDaniels, he only curses to get like tough, like machismos and stuff. No, he's a cool guy. If he needs to curse, let him curse. He's not doing it to gain respect or to be cool. That's just who he is. And you know what? If that hypes the players up, if that gets them going, let him. No harm, no foul. Let him do it. But you look at him, and you wouldn't think like a guy like that drops F word. He's a beautiful wife, beautiful daughter, but who cares? It's working. So drop all the F-bombs you want. Let it happen. Colin Coward said the Cowgirls are going to blow us. What? Whoa. Stop that negativity. I'll read it, though. Colin Coward said that the Cowgirls are going to blow us out, and we late garbage time TDs to make the score look better. Oh, no. Well, I mean, could you expect anything else from Mr. Colin Kaka? Typical words from him, but let him, and that honestly fuels a lot of our players, especially Tua, right? Tua is a guy who he says he keeps receipts and everything. I mean, I'd rather him like not go out and publicly say that stuff. I'd rather him just perform on the field, which he is having a fantastic year. But but I know that's gonna fuel people like Tua, like Tyreek, like that gives them that extra gas. So let them keep talking. Robert, Hard Knocks has been great show how invested the players are and how they want us to win. I'm sorry. Hard Knocks has been great to show how invested the players are and they want to win as much as we want them to win. Exactly, right? You know they're not out there just for the paycheck. Like you could see their heart and soul with the team. Like it's so good to see that like, hey, they're in this together. They support each other. And so I agree 1,000% that these guys are not there just for the paycheck. They want to be there. They want to win. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. They believe in the system. So 1,000%. I've been watching Hard Knocks on YouTube. Oh, don't tell me. I'll try to cancel my non-cancelable HBO package now. But it's just it's fantastic. I'm really excited to hopefully see the players. I know that they give each other Christmas gifts. I know that Tyreek gave the whole team the electric scooters, so they take advantage of that. I'd also like to see, I know this is really not related to Dolphin, but show a little bit of the lives of the cheerleaders too. I know that the cheerleaders have been doing cute things together. The only one who I really don't want to see on Hard Knocks is Stephen Ross. Let him be, let him do his thing. But show more of the organization as a whole would be cool as well. We triggered Lou. Screw cow turd. Yes, Robert and E, the show is awesome. Yeah, no, it's honestly has become a Tuesday tradition in my household. We look forward to it. You know, hey, Tuesday, we just know, hey, we're gonna be on the TV. Wait a second. If it's 9:00 here, Robert, that means you're watching it at like 2 or 3 in the morning. But maybe it's different. No, I mean, yeah, if HBO was out there, so but we're watching at 9:00 at night. I know our friends in California are watching at 6, but 9:00 in my household on Tuesdays is HBO, Hard Knocks. And I sure as I almost said a bad word. I'm talking Coach McDaniel like. I sure as heck hope, I would hope, like, I don't want this to be the end of it, right? I want to see it every year, but it could be distracting. But I feel like so invested in part of the team that I just don't want Hard Knocks to show the inside just of this season. I want it to continue every season, but obviously it's a business and it needs to go on. 5 hours later here. Okay. Yeah. So you're seeing it. If it's 9 here, you're seeing it at 2 in the morning. Yeah, that's but you know what? It's one of those things where it's worth it. So it's definitely worth a 2 a.m. Screening of it as well. But yeah, so that's what I got for you guys. Obviously, big game in a few hours. It's huge. I mean, I can talk about it all day. I foresee it going in our favor as long as the play calling's smart, as long as Tua, plays well. I know if you guys saw last week, I didn't laugh about it, but it really sheds light on it when he fell. He did like the jiu-jitsu fall and he like came up. I thought he was gonna do like a Jackie Chan thing. I was waiting for like that to come up, like something like that. But no, I'm super excited to watch it. I feel that the Grinch came last year to South Florida when we lost against Green Bay on Christmas Day. And let me tell you something about that game. Lou and I obviously were at that game and we thought, Green Bay should be an easy win. Obviously that did not happen. And we left the Hard Rock and we were hungry, right? And we just figured we'll stop for somewhere to eat. Well, it was Christmas Day. Nothing was open. So not only did we lose that game, we also went home hungry pretty much. So I don't foresee any of that happen. And I feel like it's all going to work out to our favor today. And we're going to put a staple out there. We're going to let people know, we're serious and that we can beat good teams. We can beat good teams, okay? Dallas is a good team and we can beat good teams. Robert, wish Amazon would do an all or nothing series on the Dolphins. Yes, that would be so good. And, Amazon is a partner of the Dolphins. They sponsor the Dolphins Challenge Cancer and they do a lot. And like, that would be perfect. Like all or nothing series on the Dolphins. Oh my gosh. Even like off season too. Like, don't get me started. Exactly, Lewis. Cow turd is a flip-flopper. Tell him. He's a Grinch. That's my new thing. Anybody who I don't like, I'm calling Grinches. So I'm going to stick to that. I like it. So anyways, I won't keep you guys too much longer. I know that we are getting ready for not only our Christmas Eve preps, our Noche Buena. Noche Buena is a big tradition here in South Florida with our Hispanic friends, my fiance, his family as well. We celebrate Christmas the day before. So there's a lot of those celebrations going on. But it's a beautiful day. Yes, Eric, the ultimate flip-flopper. I'd flip him off if I saw him. You wouldn't do that, Lewis. Okay, you Grinch. You're not flipping off anybody. All you gotta do is just win. Shut up the haters and just win, right? That's all you got to do. So anyways, guys, little something to leave you with. Here's to a season. Here's to a wonderful season. Miami Dolphins ornaments. And I wish you and your families. Oh, wait. I hear something in the back. Is that Santa? Wait, no. Santa's not even at the UK yet. That can't be Santa. No, he's not even over at the UK yet. Hold on. Something's coming. Something's coming. Can't be Santa yet, though. He hasn't even crossed the Atlantic Ocean. Something's coming over here. What do we got? What do we got? You know, people have asked me, Jalen, what are you doing? Jalen, you got to go in the game, man. What are you doing? We need you today. Is there a message from? Oh, thank you. What is? Because I don't know what's happening right now. I'm just going with it. Oh, a message from Lou. Santa Lou. Merry Christmas, everybody. Fins up. So I hope that we all get the two things we want for Christmas. Obviously, we want to beat Dallas, but even more, we want a trip to the Super Bowl. So I hope you have all been good this year because I've been good this year. So I hope Santa knows that we've all been good, that we deserve the win today on Christmas Eve, and we deserve a trip to the Super Bowl. So without further ado, may you and your families have a wonderful Merry Christmas Eve, Happy late Hanukkah, and Noche Buena to all of those. Fins up, guys. Let's go Dolphins.